got to be laws that allows the Spanish man or the Latino brother to own a McDonald's in a Latin neighborhood and nobody but Latin people work there. There's got to be a law against it. But nobody goes and seek that. No, but you got to seek out the law. So when that guy comes in and says, hey, I'm Joe Blow from Middle America, I'm white, and I want a job here. And I go, no, I'm not hiring you. Why? I have the right to reserve to hire who I want. This is not a union job.
Okay, what about living quarters? Remember the situation in Parkchester? And we passed that neighborhood for years growing up. Now, when you pass down White Plains, it's all Indians there.
Well, now what they want to say on that, to bring that up.
That has to be a form of discrimination. What if you go for an apartment?
All it takes is one of us to still live there. If you look at anything, that's why, I don't know how they get away with it, because maybe nobody complains. All you need is one cat that's not like the others. You can't holler discrimination. Like, my job promoted a young lady to superintendent. She was black. They called that a double minority. I was like, what? They said, yeah. On the scales of hiring, because they hired a woman and a minority, and they're both one, mathematically, they can hire 2 white guys. Because we covered the minority base twice.
That's what, male, female?
Female minority, yes, believe it or not. If you look at our history, most of the doors that have been opened for us were opened by our women. The thing that degraded the upbringing of the Negro back then was the welfare system got the woman to believe that if you want this, he can't be here. And once the Negro man was out of the house, he no longer was head of household. So his power as being the protector was diminished again. It's a lot. It's all in our history, but a lot of us don't read our history. That's why we as men of color who read our history, we're minorities. It's a fad to know our history. It's not a badge of honor anymore. It's not something to say, you know what, that's why I call myself Negro.
But it's not, to me, see, I don't agree with that. It's not, it's not a badge of honor. We agree to this. I agree with everything is your right. As a person, you should know your history, your background. Forget what everybody else is doing. Because, like, I'm going to go back to this. We're not winning anything.
Okay.
I'm not concerned with what everybody else is doing.
So let me ask you.
Because I can only be what I am, a black man. I'm not concerned
it's your right to know your history.
What the Latin community is doing. That doesn't concern me.
It's your right to know your history. Whose job is it to make sure that your rights aren't violated? And whose job is it to teach you your history?
Before that, it would be your parents.
Those are the
first teacher.
If my parents don't know nothing, my parent can't read and write.
Okay.
My father only knows how to go to work and come home.
And this is what I was telling you about initially in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Say your parents couldn't read or write. Right. Which is false. But say your parents couldn't read or write.
Well, we progress enough along that they could read and write.
Okay. You may have someone in your neighborhood that lives in the same quarters as you live in, and he may see something in you and can try to, educate you. What's wrong with that? Mm-hmm. That's how you keep building your nation up like that.
No, you see, this is where the road divides. You were talking about rights. Now you're talking about responsibility and love for your people and loyalty that says, you know what?
That's still a right. In my opinion, that's still a right.
Would you have the right to exercise what you want to do tonight? I have a right to
but
buy a car or not buy a car. I have a right to take a cab or take the bus or train. Yeah. These are my rights to decide because they're afforded me.
To me, in my opinion, that's an I right. I have the right.
Okay, I got you.
To indulge myself with any person of color that I feel I can help with any sprinkle of information.
You say it's a right.
I feel it's a right.
Society said it isn't.
I'm not concerned with society.
But society, you have to be concerned with society because society controls everything.
Society is controlling me talking to you right now?
No, because
I'm not concerned with
society. Society's not threatened by you talking to me. The second society becomes threatened about us talking, trust me, somebody gonna say something.
And this is my point with black people. You see how you're saying the minute you threaten all those great men and women that died, for everybody here while we're talking, they wasn't concerned with society. They put everything in front. Let me finish. They put everything on the line So you could be able to do certain things you're doing now. And to be honest with you, all they did, in my opinion, was without words. It was awesome. It was great. Whatever words you can find to say what they did for us was everything. Look what's going on today. Look what's going on today.
What's going on today?
Nothing's really changed.
You know why? Because everybody is about themselves.
I just spoke about everybody being
about
themselves.
I agree, but then you said it's a right. It's not a right.
I just spoke about everybody being about themselves.
It should be an obligation. So strong.
If you want to use obligation, right. You can use obligation.
No, look what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It should be such a strong of an obligation in you that people stalk like you and say, it is my right to teach that brother how to read and write. It is my right to help him get a job. It is my right to hire him in my business.
And that's all I was saying.
I agree. But what you asked me was, what's the plight of the Bible? This is our plight. They have disbanded us again, and it's become fad, and it's become to the point, okay, we'll use the N-word. We were finished when the N-word became
only way you could be disbanded mentally if you allow it.
No, you're right, but how many people allow it? It's become so popular that most people don't even know that they've allowed it. Like all of these athletes. Most of those athletes come from meager backgrounds like you and me. They were fortunate. They hit the lotto.
Because everything is based off your mental capacity. It all goes back to your humble beginnings. You make money. You know how many people came from harsher beginnings than me and you came from, and then they make money and they act like they never were broke or poor.
This is what I'm talking about.
That's a form of weakness. Your mental capacity got you saying, oh, I was never.
But society says it's okay. Go back to the 60s when they had to fight first to be afforded these new gifts that they're exploiting. Think about it. There wouldn't be this way if doors hadn't opened. But now that the doors are open, it's no longer a big thing. It's like there are white athletes who come from meager backgrounds. Check any of them. You know how many of them open foundations in their neighborhoods? Helping kids learn how to read. Helping the next kid to go to college. All of the big athletes, all of them do it, they just don't publicize it. With us, we don't do it.
I mean, you have some
and we're not trained to say, it's a few.
You have some black athletes that do it that don't want to be in the limelight, so to say.
But sometimes
Jalen Rose opened up a school. How many people really knew that? If you're not really in this,
he got to open his mouth.
You wouldn't know he did that.
You know why?
But everybody's not like that.
But you just said it's his right. As his right, he should say something to spark the next guy. If nobody's sparking the next guy. Some people
are calculated when they do certain things.
But see, now you got to stay on one side of the fence. We need people to step up and do the job and tell somebody so the next guy said, you know what? Jay did it. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to follow up Jay. I like his style. But if nobody knows Jay did, like Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg sent a bunch of kids to college. Not all of them are black. Oh, I did it anonymously. So what? What good does that do our community? And then, personally, you know what our problem is? We're too busy trying to appease the masses and show them how to be, what's the word I'm missing? Where we're just, where everything is balanced. Well, we're going to be for everybody. Nah. Truthfully, we need to be Black Panthers. We need to be militants. We need to, for once in a while, black owned, black support, all about black. This is
how I initially started everything.
And I agreed.
My thing is, you shouldn't be concerned about other ethnic groups.
But you need to be.
No, you need to build your own thing first. I'm building my own thing. How can I show you something if I ain't build something yet?
Learn from the next dude.
No, it all goes back to the trust factor. If I have a certain amount of money, right, and you might have a little more than me, why can't we put ours together without a person saying, well, I only put 3,000, but you got 7. That makes the 10, right? But you know what the person that puts the 7 gonna most likely say? Well, I put 7. You only put 3. You gotta be the boss or whatever. We can't be two black men or 2 black women or 1 black man, 1 black woman putting our minds together and looking at the big picture. A lot of people don't think about the big picture. A lot of people care about right now. If you want to build something, you want to build something for now. I don't want to build something and say, okay, well, I came out with this clothing line, I got this and that, it looks good now. What about me maybe I'm blessed for this clothing line that lasts 10, 15 years strong. You wanna make something happen. You wanna build a culture.
Okay, how?
You wanna inspire people. You want other people to come behind you and say, you know what, I like how he did it. I'm gonna come with my own thing. And then everybody keep, as people of color, keep progressing. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about.
And you are one of a few voices that will not be heard. It's gotta go back to the beginning and get big.
Well, why would you feel I'm not gonna be heard?
Well, I said it wrong. Not heard by enough of the masses to really make a.
And it goes back to, if I'm that passionate about that, I'm gonna do whatever I can to be heard.
Okay.
That's how you do things.
Run for office.
You do things to be heard.
Run for office.
Maybe I would run for office.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be good at it, but I'm saying, look at the girl, Letitia James, who just became the first black female, what is she? Not our district, she's our comptroller or something. I remember when Letitia wasn't nobody, right here in Harlem. She used to have an office right next to your barber shop. And back then she was an independent. And they cited her as though she was the new coming of the Black Panther Party. Look what she has now. Now, with that in tow, what has she done for us lately? Other politicians get in. Anybody other than the Black American, they do for theirs. Not even if it's on a big scale.
This is everything I've been saying from the beginning.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm asking you again. I'm asking you to answer your own question.
Okay.
What's your plan about it?
All right, but if she didn't do it, your job and your right as a person is don't be the person she was. Everybody has a choice. You don't have to be the person she was.
Okay, so we sweep her out of the way. You don't
have to work your way to the top and forget like a lot of us do. That's why we don't move. Like a lot of these. And I'm not knocking the athletes, the actors, but a lot of them make it and they get caught up in the Hollywood scene or making the money and they forget. They forget when I was living in that tenement. They forget about that. They forget about that. And if you ain't mentally strong, you'll forget about it too. It happens all the time.
I wouldn't say mentally strong. I'd say educated.
You can be
mentally strong about the wrong thing. I'm mentally strong about being the top MMA fighter. That's all I care about. Aren't I not mentally strong? But I'm only mentally strong about something that's for me. Now to be mentally strong, like you're saying, I understand. That means you going out to better life for the black man. There are gonna come people that's gonna try to change your mind, like the athletes. All them guys started out with good intention. I'm gonna make this money. I'm gonna get mama home. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna help the neighborhood. He was 9 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, somewhere between college and pro. The pro detractors came in and changed his mind. Or they said, look here, you can get this little carrot here, but if you change this a little bit, you can get this big one and come back to that later. Our history repeats itself all the time because not enough of us, like him, are willing to make the change. We get that money, yo, there's a chance, like Kaepernick. I applaud him because I just read it. I applaud him. He opted out of his contract. They didn't throw him out. He opted out, but what they did was they got together and made sure no other team would hire him. That's why he got a loss. I just read it. Now, if you look at what he's doing right there, but how broad of a stroke it is. Is he on a city tour, going to every city, raising the Black Power flag? Maybe that's what we're missing, because when I was a kid, that's what Malcolm X did. That's what Martin Luther King did. Ali did it too.
He's making his strides. If you follow him closely,
you said follow him. His strides should be so strong because, in defense, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Ali strides were so strong they couldn't keep them off the news. That's how every house knew about them. Well, everybody didn't buy a paper and everybody could read. Everybody that saw the news saw these guys, they became polarized.
This is a different age. You don't need papers anymore.
You're missing what I'm saying.
I'm catching everything you're saying.
But you're saying follow him. Follow him means I got to click a button, and whereas he's so strong that he's on every mechanism without me pressing a button. He's like a commercial. Well, let's go back. When Kaepernick first started taking the knee, Kaepernick was on TV every day like a commercial. Outside of quarterback, I didn't know what Kaepernick was doing until it got so big, you couldn't help it. It was on the news. Because everybody was talking for him or against him. They didn't have to we didn't have the average household didn't have to follow him. The media made you follow him. They brought him to your house. These are the things I see different.
Didn't he just have a big Nike campaign?
Okay. How long between?
What is the initial issue with Kaepernick?
I like what he do. I think he needs to go back to being hungry and being so out there that he's back on the news again, where you hear everything or you see what he's doing. Kaepernick today and Kaepernick 2 years ago. Other than the Nike campaign, how often do you hear about Kaepernick now? And his plight for the black man. Whereas 2 years ago when he first started it, you heard about Kaepernick even when Kaepernick wasn't even playing. This is what I'm getting at. That obligation, that right, where does it go? Us as a black people, you check our history, we don't stay with nothing long enough to put our foot in nobody's ass.
It goes back to what you're saying. You're talking about people not, first of all, they're not supporting him like they used to. Same thing with the Players Association. That's why the $100 million situation happened.
On that right now, it's not the Players Association, it's the Players Coalition. It's a difference. It's not the Players Association.
Coalition? No. Who got the $100 million?
The coalition. 40 players.
Who's in the coalition?
40 players. It's not the league.
I don't need to know all 40 players. Who's the main guy? I educated you on that. Who's the main guy that wants to argue with Eric, that Eric Reed wants to get at?
Listen to what I'm saying before we go further. So you understand. The coalition is the NFL Players Union. Every player, players that we don't even know, third string guys or the practice squad, it's in this union.
Who got the 40 million?
The coalition.
100 million, I mean.
The coalition. 40 players who was behind Kaepernick started a group that was going to get bigger and bigger. It was going to rival the NFL union.
And what happened?
Some of the key cats basically got bought out on what sounded like a good idea. And the 100 million you're talking about, it's not going in his pockets. It's going to start campaigns for equality and all of the things that's been going on since the city. You're going to put money that's going to disappear.
In simpler terms.
And it's over a 10-year period of time between all of the owners. You know what that is? That's cocktail money. That's the money I throw at the waitress at the bar.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I won't even ask you a question. I'll just tell you this.
Tell me.
In simpler terms, you know what that 100 million is for?
Nothing.
For them to be quiet.
For 40 people to be quiet. Not the union.
Let me ask you a question. Do you see Malcolm Jenkins doing this anymore? They just played last night. He's on the Eagles, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, first
he
of all,
stayed in the tunnel.
I just want to say
he said he didn't come out of the tunnel.
Listen, I just want to say this. I just want to say this.
Go ahead.
I just want to say salute to the soldiers, all the men and women that fought for this country, alive and not alive. I just want to pay my respects to them. Now that I've said that, if you're really about what you believe in, right? Mm-hmm. What John Carlos and them did, what they did in the Olympics, right? Because that's where they were getting it from. Everybody got this from the Black Panthers, right? You initially started doing this, right? You were with Kaepernick, right? You was with Eric Reed and them, right? Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me you took that money to be quiet? Yeah. All right, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Jay's Chop Shop. Look out for future episodes, and we'll be talking about so much more. We'll get into Kanye West. We'll also get more into about the NFL, the $100 million payoff, I believe, in my opinion.